Hello, this is Andrés with the Sangeet School Introduction to Western Music video series. Now we're going to use this first video in the series to go over the curriculum for the 11 video series, kind of discuss what our subject will be. And our subject will be Western music from 15,000 BCE all the way to the present day, 2013. And please do note that it is Western music specifically, and that means music from Europe or the United States, what we call Western civilization. Oftentimes we call this type of music classical music. So keep in mind we're not going to talk about any kind of music from China or India or Africa. Those will be topics for other video series. So just focusing on Europe and the United States. Now our main question throughout this video series will be, how did we get from here, Gregorian chant, to here 1,000 years later. To here more recently. Whoop. Seems like we've lost our video. Alright, so this is the same time period, or part of the same time period, kind of chopped up so we can see. We're going to talk about the era from 15,000 BCE all the way to 500 CE. That'll be ancient music. And then we get this nice musical periods timeline that we like to have. We call these musical periods or musical eras. There's the medieval, the Renaissance, the Baroque. The classical, this is where real classical music comes from, the Romantic period, and then modern and postmodern. Now keep in mind that these are not actually nice, neat little lines that we can just draw at the year 1400 exactly. They're more convenient milestones, convenient divisions we can kind of put in, where we know this music has a lot of similarities within itself and it's different from this Baroque music, which in itself has similarities within the music written during this time period. So these borders are a lot fuzzier than this diagram makes them out to be. That said, they are very useful, and a lot of these things will correspond to world history as we know it. For example, the Renaissance period, Renaissance music corresponds pretty much exactly with what we call the Renaissance period in Europe in general, with all sorts of art and things like that. Great. And also keep in mind that this is not kind of an arrow of time just going through here where everything gets better as it goes along. It's not that music is progressing or improving all the time. It's just changing. So it's an evolution, a history of the evolution of music, not a history of the improvement of music. So now let's talk about what the videos will be. So welcome to video 1, introduction. You can check that off your list. Alright, sorry about that glitch. So yes, we are in the introduction. Then in the next video, video 2, we will be talking about the West until 500 CE, roughly the fall of Rome, and all sorts of ancient music. In the third video, we'll be talking about the medieval and dark ages, then the Renaissance, then the Baroque, then the classical period, in which many of our very famous composers start to feature, like Mozart. And then the early Romantic period, another famous name, Beethoven. And the late Romantic period, and these have a lot of similarities, but there's so much music going on here it's worth splitting in two. then the first part of the 20th century, and then the second part of the 20th century, and we will wrap up the video series by discussing where music is now in the 21st century and where things look like they're going from here. And the general idea is that for each of these time periods, we'll meet some of the main players, some of the composers, some of the other important people in music during each time period, and we'll listen to some music from each time period, and also learn a little bit about the other history that was going on at the same time. Again, generally what was going on at the same time in Europe. For example, we'll bring in the French Revolution, we'll talk about World War I, World War II. Those will all be part of our discussion too. Great, and thank you for watching this first introduction video, and I hope to see you guys next time at video 2 of Introduction to Western Music, where we'll discuss ancient music.